And good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are enjoying this somewhat cloudy, overcast kind of look there into the city of Louisville today, much of wave country. Hope you guys are doing well. I am wave meteorologist Brian Good. Welcome to Storm Talk, which really it's all about one particular storm, of course, that being Francine and the leftovers as we get into the next couple of days. Beneficial rain finally coming our way, and I do think it'll be a good soaking rain in a few spots. Will there be spots that get missed? Ooh, I know that question is going to come up, and it's an easy answer. You're not going to like it, but yes, there will be some areas just because of the banding nature of how this will play out. There will be some that may unfortunately get the least amount, if any, out of these bands. And right now, if I had to pinpoint some spots, and I'll show you on the maps coming up, that are getting my attention. I'm thinking right now it's going to be parts of Indiana, perhaps southeast Indiana, and anywhere east of 65 between here and Lexington. That row of counties to the east of us may also have some lower totals. But we'll go through it in just a second. And I know we have a lot of outdoor events, so some don't want rain. Totally understand that. So as always, you guys can comment and ask any questions on our social pages side, Facebook, Twitter, as well as Twitch. I get Twitch every now and then on here, and YouTube as well. So RAC is morning. Good morning to Judith. Hope all is well for you. Good morning to Michelle over into Linden. Nancy, oh boy, we're getting ready for timing, right? The rain for Friday night. Got some good and bad news on that. I'll explain. Let me know, Nancy, where you're at exactly when I come around to that there in just a few moments. Michelle, MSD is expecting a good rain. Clearing the storm drains. Yeah, you got to, this time of year, it's really crucial to keep those drains clear more than any other time, just because of the drought-stressed leaves that we've had that have fallen. Boy, yeah, that can lead to flooding problems quickly. We're already going to have a hard ground and a lot of what we call runoff, where the water is just going to flow off of that right onto the interstates. Hydroplane issues go up. You get pooling of water on certain sections of the interstate where they begin to tilt, especially into downtown Louisville. So keeping those drains clear is important. So if you have one in your neighborhood or one near your driveway and you see it has a lot of debris and leaves in it, try to get that cleared out and help your neighbors out, because it helps everyone down the line. Okay, let's get going. Let's see how this is going to play out as we get into the rest of the day today. First off, as always, the countdown. Got to do that, right? 10 days and counting before we get to the autumnal equinox. Hurry up, just so we can say that and I can start doing the countdown to winter. That's the one that matters. High overcast over the area. You can see that looking from our SkyTri camera. This is over in Jeffersonville. And you see hazy sunshine. At times it may thin out to allow for you to cast a good shadow on the ground. Other times you may be mainly overcast. It's going to shave off a couple degrees from our 90-degree temperatures we've had as of late. I don't think anyone's going to complain about that. We should stay mainly in the 80s. It's a pretty shot from space, though, looking down at it. You can see the waviness of it and the flow coming in. Again, these are the outer bands of what was once a hurricane. All the clouds you see above us are all Francine related. So pretty wild anytime we see that happen, even when I was a kid and you would see the remnants of a tropical system that would come over Kentucky and you could see the outer edges of it show up in the distance. It's always just cool. The idea of something like that was way down there and causing problems. And then the tamer version of it, but the shell is still around and over our heads. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, that's a weather enthusiast talking. We'll get down to the south. Just as the sun comes up, you can see the swirl of where Francine is. Okay, it looks like very close to Jackson in Mississippi. Let me out on the radar. And on the radar, you can see the obvious swirl that's going on there. I'll zoom in a second near Jackson. But these outer bands, got to really watch them. And these are actually the ones that cause your tornado issues. And that will be really found only across the very southeast side of this giant cinnamon roll, because sometimes we worry about, sometimes you can get thunderstorms in the southeast side of the actual circulation. But so far, that part has been quiet and likely will be. There may be some enhancement at times over the weekend that we'll be watching, and we'll need to keep it on that. I used to always draw the American flag with a box corner. We need to monitor that. But for at least the next couple of days, your severe risk is going to be found way far to the east here on the edge of these outer bands. across the panhandle of Florida and the Big Bend area. For us, though, it's all about the spin. And let me, I told you guys I'll take you in closer. Let's do that real fast. Let's go all the way in. There we go. You can see there's the, again, the southern wall not as intact. It's just a depression now. We'll get the stats in a second. But the southern wall really disintegrated, but the northern wall very much intact. I mean, this is probably about 3-4 inches of rain per hour is what that rain band is doing right now. Very heavy rainfall, but they have been in a drought too. So this is not a bad thing either. They need this rain in a big, big way. All right, so let's get to a wider view, and let's get into the stats on Francine. Again, tropical depression, barely hanging on as that, should lose that status maybe as early as tonight, but more than likely tomorrow. It will slow down a bit in the next 24 hours. So it came in fairly quick into Louisiana, moving up Louisiana. This is a live look now at it as it moves up. But it's about to, it's basically someone, I'm trying to think how to relate to this without getting in trouble at the same time. Okay, say your friends. I don't recommend you doing this, by the way, kids, if you're watching. But say your friends are pushing your other friend in the grocery cart in the Kmart off Beulah Church Road, and before your mom yells at you on check lane 6, you are pushing your friend and you let go of the cart, and they eventually just keep on flying until eventually it slows down and stops because I stopped pushing it. So that is a very roundabout way of an analogy I'm using to explain what's happening with Francine. Francine's got a nice push to what's going on. The atmosphere happened pushing along, but no one is pushing Francine any longer. So the system is just going to eventually just come to a slow roll and stop. Now, the question we've got is, as it does that slow roll, where will that be? And will it still be throwing rain at us, or will it be too far away and just be throwing clouds at us, but the rain can't reach us? It may be a mix of both on those answers, the way it's looking right now. And it's worth mentioning, there's another tropical system that is located to the east of this that we need to also watch. It could have some influence into next week there. Okay, so here's the official track, not much of a track because it's only got a very short lifespan officially left to it. So we've covered that. Let's get into the modeling. Let's get right into that. Pay attention to the clock. Here we go. First thing is, first error on this. There will be the outer band. It's moving to Tennessee now. This outer band, just about every single model I've looked at has kept this outer band intact, and it will be relatively heavy. So that'll be moving in from the south. It'll be an east-west band. It'll start tonight, roughly sunset. Should be approaching our southern part of our area. And while you are asleep tonight, it'll be moving northbound. And it should line up to I-64 by the time we get into just before rush hour tomorrow. Likely will still be lingering around I-64 all through rush hour tomorrow morning. This is not a severe thunderstorm type of scenario. This is a problem when it comes to just very heavy rain that does not want to move at a bad time. So I'm going to go ahead and just yell it now. Tomorrow morning, plan early. It's going to be Friday. Everyone's going to be excited to get the weekend going. I totally understand. But it is going to be slow going on the roads. The kids will be a bit delayed, I'm sure, because of the parents trying to help them out at the bus stops. The buses may be running behind. It could just be one of those mornings that will probably look and feel like a Monday, but it will be a Friday. So kind of keep that in mind as it goes, as we go through the day. But again, that heavier band of rain will move through. But here's the positive. With this heavier band tracking the way it wants to, and the timing that it has, as soon as it gets into the area, it actually fizzles out, leaving us with several hours of dry time Friday afternoon. So Nancy, coming back around to your question on timing, once we get into Friday afternoon and evening, the next round that will begin to fire will be closer to Francine, but I'm thinking right now that's going to be in the western and central area of Kentucky. Not sure how many of our counties will feel the impact of the second round, because this is where distance will matter. And if we're too far away, the next round that forms out of, say, east of Nashville is going to aim just into central Kentucky and southwest Indiana. I'm not going to roll out. It's going to hit our counties. So if you are in Meade County, Breckenridge, Hardin County, Bullock County even, just be aware that there could be late Friday afternoon or evening development that will rotate in backwards. This is backwards weather we're talking about. These could actually be a bit on the stronger side in terms of gusty winds. We'll need to watch that. Maybe a brief spinning thunderstorm. I can't rule that out, but this is going to be later Friday night. Again, I'm thinking Nashville, Bowling Green, Paducah, and Evansville those areas will have a little more of an issue with that than Louisville, Cincinnati, or Indy will. But we'll monitor that. All right. It continues to do this spin, quiets down, especially into the evening hours. I think overall Saturday, there's a few hints that we may get some bands that may try to push back in, but this particular model says no, it should be mainly dry. I think the challenge is what we got is going to be that second low that I told you guys about. Let me show you what I mean by that, because here is Francine. Here we are Friday night into Saturday. But if you look carefully, it's very noisy over here in the Carolinas. There's actually another area the Hurricane Center is watching that could develop. Even if it doesn't develop, what Francine is trying to do is pull in the moisture, sneaky Francine, trying to pull in the moisture somehow over on the southern part of the Appalachians and get it into Kentucky, basically stealing its moisture, if you will, from it. Kind of like those, what do they call those little flying demon things in Harry Potter? Does anyone watch Harry Potter? Where they take your, sounds great. They take your soul out of your body. You can see them. It comes out of your body anyway. That's what I think of when I think of a storm pulling the life out of another one. It's almost like Dementors, right? It's got to be Dementors. I have not watched Harry Potter in a while. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate that. It's kind of that analogy. Yeah, you guys, I'm really in a weird mood on analogies today. But that is basically what that system is doing, what Francine is doing to the other one. It's a Dementor trying to steal the soul of another there. So that's what we'll be watching for the latter half of the weekend and next week, because if Francine and the leftovers of Francine do not move at all, and we also have this system out here into the Carolinas, it's not really moving. What's going to give? One of them has to eventually fail, right? And that's where the challenge in the long term comes, because here we are now on Sunday. This looks like the same weather map. Here we are Monday. All right, maybe a little hint there on Monday of something like that trying to pull through. So let me just caution you guys, anything for the latter half of the weekend and next week, very much a low confidence scenario, because we got to figure out what Francine is going to do. Francine, the Dementor, is going to do as we head into next week. So we'll keep you updated. All right. But there's another wave. Yeah, I know. We're getting busy now. Here's Tropical Depression number 7 in the far Atlantic. For now, shouldn't bother anyone. We'll watch it. Next name on the list is Gordon for this one here. So we'll monitor that. All right. Let me get you right into the 10-day and then get some of your questions. If you have any at all, I don't think you do. I appreciate y'all helping with my Harry Potterness, though. That helps me out. Let's see. Joe, I saw your comment about North Carolina. Yeah, that setup there in the Carolinas, again, even if it doesn't develop into a system, it's providing such a feed to Francine right now that's where our forecast has got a lot of question marks to it, because I can totally see where it keeps streaming the moisture over the mountains in our area, and I've seen that go many ways, but it can lead to a constant rain setup. So it could be really interesting. Talk about a reversal of the what'd you say, Danny? Ryan Hoke warned us about your analogies and drawings. Well, he should be used to that by now. He's had to listen to that since he's like 8 years old, so he'll be all right. Thoughts on the Gaslight Festival getting rained on? Right now, as long as we have that heavier band in the morning, Monica, the risk for the afternoon round drops off. So I'm hoping right now that's the case. So we may have to sacrifice a very rainy start today through midday. But by the time we get into the evening, we may be much more in a drier setup there. Let's see. If we're in an area that isn't lucky enough to get the rain, the 10 does look dry. Yeah, there's no organized systems, Brad. So overall, it's mainly dry, but you got to keep in mind some of these chances may go up and spike. Like, for example, the one that we have for tomorrow, 80%. That was only, 40% not long ago. So once we get into a setup where our confidence is raised on it actually surviving a dry scenario, or the track is starting to lock in, then at that point we will raise the chance up on it. So that's why you see that up there. But yeah, overall we still need more rain, but it is also the dry season, so I guess we can't ask for too much around here. All right, guys, I'm going to run. I appreciate you all. And you're right, Renee. I'll leave this one comment up as a reminder to everyone. Tomorrow is Friday the 13th. Oh boy. Well, we'll just see what happens.